It's 7:00.
I'm ready to rock.
It's Sunday night, which can only mean one thing. Well, two things. It is the day of our Lord, Jesus Christ. I forget we're not on the Third Wheel podcast. And it's also awkward turkey time. Brilliant. Maybe we change.
Sounds like the perfect new intro for us now, that does.
Maybe we change all the swear words in future episodes to just you making that noise. Fear you'll be making that noise a lot. Okay.
Dude,
all right.
Imagine I had to do a soundtrack just for it. Imagine you just sent me the audio and then I was like, I can do them all.
Just do it over the top. Yeah, easy. Couldn't be. Right. I feel like last week we hit some really, really tough, hard-hitting topics. You know, we attacked mental health. This week we've got another great guest on, which we'll talk about in a minute.
Yeah.
I did go to bed last night and think, you know, are people going to watch April and go, "Oh, awkward turkey's gone a bit serious, hasn't it?" I did prefer it. Tom was drawing willies on the Shawshank Redemption in Pictionary. Do you worry that that's going to happen, or do you think it's okay for us to have a month where we attack real issues, discuss?
Yeah. I mean, the fact that he's still drinking from those small mugs is enough for me.
They're not small; they're normal adult-sized mugs.
You're just very big.
I've just been to the gym. I haven't been to the gym. Still stuck in my house. But, yeah, they're not.
I think it's all right, isn't it? I think it's all right to be talking about serious stuff. Or you're still on the coffee trip. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I need to have 4 or 5 cups before I do this show, just so.
Just so you can cope with me.
Yeah, pretty much. Tolerate is a word I would use.
Remember when I thought we were friends?
We are friends.
Someone messaged me this week and said, "Oh, you've dyed your hair." I was like, "No, I just haven't been to the hairdressers for about 3 months." I
know I'm a little bit older than you, but you do look a little bit like Kevin Keegan circa sort of 1980 at the moment.
Who's Kevin Keegan? Oh, the footballer guy.
Well, yeah, footballer then manager, and he was very famous for a perm he had. I'm not saying you've got a perm.
It's not a perm, mate.
But it's looking.
It is curling a bit, doesn't it?
It's looking big. It's looking big.
It is. It needs a chop.
I thought about maybe retraining as a hairdresser, because I imagine that the demand for like a decent hairdresser at the end of this, every single person in the world is going to need a haircut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially me.
Again, if you're
problem is you can't leave your house and I can't leave my house to have my haircut.
I've thought of a brilliant feature that you're going to say no to straight away, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Go on.
What about the first post-lockdown episode that we're allowed to be in the same room? What about we cut each other's hair? Just putting it out there.
All right. I'm all right with it.
I would not be okay with it. I was hoping you would shoot it down straight away, because I would.
I know that's where you were going. Yeah. I was all right with it because I already knew you were shooting this down.
Yeah, I wouldn't let you anywhere near.
Give me your scissors and let me near that barnet of yours.
Just imagine you with a pair of clippers and your glasses on going, "Oh, welcome to the hair life. Welcome to the hair life." That's a joke, because one of Carl's songs is "Welcome to the Good Life."
He's right.
I'm not wrong. Carl, tell us about, because we've got a really good guest on today. Tell us about who we've got coming on.
We have my friend Francis coming on. Now, I've known Francis for 15 years. No, maybe not 15. Maybe about 15 years. About 13, 15 years, something like that.
That is a long time.
It's a long time, mother lover.
I'm so tired. I'm just having these little bursts of energy. Every now and then I go from, I'm really, really tired, to, hang on a minute, I'm awake. Wait a minute, I'm going to shout this. And then in my head, I'm like, maybe it'll become a catchphrase.
Yeah, maybe we'll have a T-shirt made.
Dr. Beer. We'll see how that one pans out.
For every week that you put a shirt on, one more button keeps opening. What's going on with that, Tom?
Just paying the bills.
The women and gents at home love it.
Just doing whatever I can to, keep the visual side of this show. Listen, people like Kevin Keegan haircuts and sort of I've got a good story for you about somebody.
And chests with no hair. Come
No,
to the right podcast.
The hair's growing back a bit now, but I've got a wicked story for you just before you tell us about Francis, who's a real serious guest on this show.
Yes, I know.
So I'm in Cannes, south of France.
Of course he is. Of course he is.
We're doing a gig. It's for
He's
work.
on the can.
Doing a gig there. And it was, for lots of reasons, it wasn't what we were expecting. We were like, it's a beach. There's going to be 5,000 people on the beach and we're doing an hour. They put us up in a beautiful hotel. There's like Lamborghinis and Ferraris outside the front that you can hire. We didn't. I wasn't driving at the time. Not the story. And we went and did the gig and nobody knew who we were or what we were doing or any of the music. So it kind of went over their heads.
Brilliant.
But we still had a great time.
Take that. Not very big in France. Not so many records.
Not so much, but that, have you ever met people that these people were so rich that they're like,
they didn't care unless you were the real Gary Barlow. They didn't care, and even if you were, they didn't care.
I think even if real Gary Barlow had turned up, they'd have gone, "Have you got a yacht?" He would have said no, and they would have just
said,
carried on.
Damn right,
living their lives.
90s, take that, mother lover.
Just to give you an idea of this hotel, I think it was called the Hotel Martinez, something like that.
I've stayed there.
Have you?
I played a gig there and stayed in that hotel.
There you go. Now, when we were over there, we went with our managers as well, and we were given, I think it was 150 euros a day to spend on food and things like that.
Per diem.
But 150 euros wouldn't get you a sandwich. I don't know why I said sandwich like that, but it wouldn't get you a sandwich. Anyway, so I'm dancing around this story. It's a great story. But with that, we finished the gig, and obviously there's a sort of a DJ starts, and everyone's on the beach, and they're having a great time. And there are some just incredibly beautiful women there. Incredibly beautiful women who are completely and utterly unimpressed by sort of 25-year-old us in the band. And we're sort of, just stood at the bar, not able to really buy a cocktail.
Hey, ladies.
There we go.
Bonjour.
Turning back on the charm. But there was a guy at the bar, and I remember turning to one of the lads in the band, and he had essentially every button bar the last button on his shirt undone. And he had like a mullet, and you know what I mean? He was just so the if you were like playing Give Us a Clue or Pictionary, and the clue was an uncool guy, that was this guy. He was in just a ridiculous shirt and these tight white trousers, all the buttons undone, hair sort of going everywhere, teeth going in the other direction, eyes going in the other direction. You get the picture.
I get it.
So anyway, he's dancing, and this is going to be a little bit visual, but he's dancing like this. Right? He's doing that. And he's doing it at a group of these just incredibly beautiful girls. Yeah?
Right. Would they love it?
And I turned to one of the lads in the band, and I was like, look, we ain't getting any action tonight. But check this bloke out. He's just going to crash and burn because he was just doing this towards the girls.
Lovely.
Just dancing, shaking his hips. I'm trying to make it audio as well as visual.
Yeah.
But he was just shaking towards these girls, and I was like, they are just going to tell him to f*** off. And he got up to these girls, and he did it, and me and the boys were watching going, oh, he's going to crash and burn. He's going to crash and burn. And then he put his arm around both of them, and they just walked off to the hotel. Back to the hotel. And I just thought...
You thought, damn, I wish I could afford prostitutes as well.
No, what I thought was, I'm going to unbutton my shirts and take myself to the nearest hairdressers. Cut me a mullet, please, barkeep.
I'll do that for you. I'll cut your mullet.
But it was just incredible to watch this guy who, seemingly on the surface, was a worse dancer than I've ever
loads
seen.
Of money.
Yeah, maybe he just whispered, "I've got a yacht."
Yeah.
So it just there is a brilliant picture of I think it's a meme on the internet of Cristiano Ronaldo when he was like 15, and he's got his hair's sort of going all over the place, and his
teeth are going the other way. Yeah.
Before he'd had his braces done and his teeth straightened and whitened, and he just looks nothing like Cristiano Ronaldo. And then there's a shot of him by the side of it, and if I can find it, I'll stick it up here. If I can't, you'll just have to Google it yourselves. But there's a shot of him when he's playing for Real Madrid, and he's got sort of jet black hair swept back, these perfect white teeth, and he is just built like a machine, muscles everywhere. And the caption underneath is, "You're not ugly, you're just poor." What message? This goes back to what we were saying yesterday, but what message is social media sending out to people? With that being the caption. Anyway, it was a meme that made my mouth so open.
And also, speaking on Cristiano Ronaldo, I saw this great little kind of clip with Ben Foster, who used to be a keeper for United. He keeps for Wolves now. And when he was with United, Ronaldo was there, and he said they said, what's he like? And he said, well, here's a good example of what the guy is like. We did the Champions League final, and he came on last 20 minutes. He scored. And when we all went back to the hotel to celebrate, he went to the gym. Cristiano Ronaldo went to the gym because he didn't feel like he'd burnt enough calories that night.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Do you know you say
that's that guy.
You say that, but there's a little bit of that I go
that resonates with you.
That's what I do.
Really?
That's what I do if I didn't feel
with
like
your medal around your neck, like.
Oh yeah, I have the medal around the neck, and I'd have a few more buttons undone on my shirt so you could see it.
Yeah.
And I'd sort of be snake hip dancing towards the ladies in the gym and going, "Hey, I want to see my medal." I don't know why I've become Mexican. Don't know why I've become Mexican. Another thing I've worked out, and we'll go back to the guest in a minute because
poor Francis, he's just waiting in the waiting room.
Probably be waiting. But I don't know if I touched on it last week with you when I was talking to Austin. I can't remember if I did, but I told you I was auditioning for something for ITV.
Love Island. Yeah, that's right.
No,
ITV.
Not a chance. Too old. Genuinely. I was auditioning for this thing for ITV, and they changed their mind and came back and said, "Can you do it in a German accent?" And
right. Yeah. I remember.
Did I talk about it last week?
No. But you touched on it with me before we started.
Oh,
you were
okay,
like,
cool.
Oh man.
Yeah. So I did the audition, and they wanted me in like Las Vegas show gear. So I put on one of my sequin jackets and some leather trousers, and just in the room pretending.
Just the fact that you got those in the wardrobe.
Yeah, of course.
That's enough for me? You'd have had the gig by now.
#rainy day. And they wanted me to pretend that I was with the tiger.
Yeah.
So I superimposed a tiger in, like green
Brilliant.
screen, in with me in the tape, and sent it off. And they came back and went, "We thought your tape was really good. Can you do this again?" So I did another one.
You haven't got the job, but how are you?
How have you got that tiger in your house?
How are you fixed with the visual effects job?
Yeah, listen, mate. Right now, I'd take it. I'd take it straight away. But they came back. They came back yesterday and went, "This is the third tape I've sent now."
Right.
And I was like, said to my agent, if they can't make up their minds now, I'm obviously not the right guy for the job.
It's a good thing, isn't it? When you get
maybe, but you get to the third, and now I'm at the point where I'm waking up in the morning and going, is it going to happen? But I've just seen this piece of paper that I've got here, and it's a piece of paper where what I've done is I've tried to write what the letters of the alphabet would be if I said them in German. So, for example, anything with a W is a V. So there is the vine, but I can't do it any better than that. So imagine I've done the whole two tapes in silence with a superimposed tiger, and then it gets to the third tape, and I'm like, "Welcome to the show, welcome to the show," and it's just like this really, really offensive caricature of a German accent. And I sent it to my agent, and I went, "What are my chances?" And he came back and he went, "Can you send me one in American?" And I said, "Yeah, why?" And I sent it to him, and he went, "I just think send them an accent. So don't do the one they've asked for. We can't send them what you've just given me."
It'd be great if it was in Spanish, but
I watched the tape back before I sent it to him, and by the end, I am full on French.
Brilliant, French. Amazing.
And I'm really trying, really trying. I just thought I'd share that with you. Tell us about.
Great.
Tell us about.
No, I want to go back to the fact that you had all of those clothes in the cupboard.
Oh, of course I do, mate. Of course I do.
Mate, if they said to me, "Can you just dress up as a Las Vegas?" What was the part again? Las Vegas. It was.
I can't go into too much detail about it, but imagine like a.
What can I say?
The shows
what can I call it?
Like the shows they have in the big hotels.
Okay, so it's like Vegas. A casino performer in Las Vegas, right?
Kind of, but on a one of the ones
on a big scale.
Yeah,
in the Mirage.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if it is. If I'd done my research, I would, but I haven't.
But I just love it that if they asked me that, they were like, "You're going to need to put on something now that's Las Vegas-esque."
Oh, sorry.
They'd have got this.
I think I've sold it you wrong. I read the brief,
right,
and then I did the superimposing of the tiger, as in the green screen of the tiger, and took it upon myself to dress as a Vegas performer.
Oh, they didn't ask for that.
Being asked. No.
Amazing.
I've got this.
Better.
I've got this little motto when I do a self-tape. It's be remembered, whether it's for the right reasons or the wrong reasons. And I will be remembered as a 35-year-old man stood sweating next to a self-imposed tiger in sequins, speaking in German, but sounding French.
Speaking in Furman.
Yeah.
Right, Francis,
yeah. Francis. Let's get back to the show.
If Francis doesn't turn up in a fucking sequin shirt and leather pants now, I'm going to be gutted. He knew the brief. He's auditioning for this part.
Brilliant.
Francis, I've known him since I was about 13, 14. I went to stage school with him in Swansea. And, you know, it's like you leave stage school, you kind of don't see each other for a bit. And then because of social media, I've kind of followed his career and his lifestyle. And he has this brilliant thing that he does. It's not like a motivational speaker. I'm going to ask him exactly what kind of he terms his job as. But he's not a motivational speaker. But anytime I watch his Insta stories, I'm just inspired to be better and to seize the day and to do stuff that makes me feel good and makes other people feel. He's kind of like Austin, where he does anything he can to make you feel good about yourself.
Awesome.
And in turn, obviously makes himself feel good because he's helped someone. So, yeah. So I thought it'd be cool to have him on and have a chat.
He's on in 3 minutes,
Great.
And neither you nor I know exactly what he does for a living.
No, but he does. We don't need to. He's just a friend. He's a friend of the show.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and if he tells me that I got Kevin Keegan hair as well, I'm leaving. I'm going to Google. You put a picture up for the people at home, because I don't know what this Kevin Keegan hair looks like.
I'll have to try and find one where he looks like you, or you look like him, or vice versa. But it's just he had hair that sort of went out as well as up.
What are you saying?
I'm just saying, listen, it was a good look for him. It was very, very popular in the mid-'80s. Not so sure how it works in 2021. Born. Yeah, no, of course, yeah. Perfect. You don't look like Kevin Keegan in the face. It's
okay.
And again, we did touch on it last week in the podcast, but I am what opticians call
blind,
sightily f***ed. And I can't see anything without my glasses. I've ordered some with my new prescription.
Have you?
Well, they haven't arrived.
How thick are they?
I've gone for the thinnest I can possibly have, but they will still be quite thick.
Is it? Yeah.
They'll still be quite thick. But
and contacts. I know you said they were like, oh, we're way past contacts, but is it a definite no? Or
no, I can't.
Because I got contacts in now.
If I have
for the same reason as you, because there's a light there. And there's a light there to try and make me look half decent.
But that's why I'm saying you might look like Kevin Keegan to me, is because I can't see.
Oh, okay.
It could be Claire I'm doing the podcast with now. I wouldn't know.
I'm just speaking to you in the other room.
Yeah, it's just a little movement. I'm past contacts. Can't have contacts ever, and that's a shame.
Oh,
I can have contacts, sorry, but they would be kind of half what my prescription needed to be. So I would be able to see a little bit more than I can now, but I wouldn't be able to. It would still strain my eyes. So there's just no point in me having them. It's a shame, really. And I've looked at laser surgery,
and
it
freaks me out, that does, because don't they peel a bit of your?
Yeah, they shoot a laser into your eye, and I just think I get.
What was the one where they used to like peel a bit of like a layer of your eye?
Isn't that something that pensioners have for cataracts?
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe we get a.
Hi, my name's Carl, and I'm thick as shit. Nice to meet you.
Maybe
nice to meet me. Yeah, why haven't we got a pension on the show to ask?
They're all shielding for a start.
Mate, call one of your mates.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. We promised you big laughs. You've had loads already today.
I've had loads.
Right, should we get Francis
unbutton another button.
No. That's for next week.
Let's get good for the people on the show.
That's for next week. Should we get Francis on and find out exactly what he does for a living?
Yeah, perfect.
Phenomenal.
All right, here he is. It is my friend from way back when, but we are still friends today. Francis.
Oh, hi guys. Thank you so much for inviting me on your podcast. I'm so excited.
Pleasure. Thank you for doing it.
Very, very welcome. We've done, this is obviously going to go out in April. It's pre-recorded. And we've done, not intentionally, but it's sort of wound up being this way, didn't it, Carl? It's kind of a, like a wellness one where last week we talked a lot about mental health, and I think we're going to do something about fitness next week as well.
Amazing.
And just, don't get me wrong, Francis, most of the time me and Carl are Pictionary with actors, and I'm drawing willies on things. You know, it's highbrow entertainment.
You know what it's like, Francis, when you're at the top of your game. You know what it's like.
I just don't want Francis to go and watch anything that we've done previously in the 6 months that we've been podcasting and go, hang on a minute.
They're going to make me look like a dick. I know they are. They're going to make me look like a dick.
We're absolutely not. But so that's essentially why we've got you on, and thank you very much. Where are you, by the way?
So I live.
It's so nice, and I am so jealous. Anytime he puts his Instagram stories up, as much as I literally 5 minutes ago, Francis, I just bigged you up saying, "Oh, it's great," because I watch his Instagram stories, and I just feel better about life. I just feel like I'm going to get on with, but we'll get on to that. But every time I do see his Instagram stories, I'm very jelly of his garden.
Thank you. Yeah, so I live just outside London. It's about 20 minutes north of Heathrow. Perfect when you want to. Normally when we can actually escape the country.
Of course.
It's called Gerrards Cross. It's kind of perfect location for me and my partner Stuart. We are like, I love London. We wanted space, but I can drive into London in like 30 minutes. So it's like the ideal.
Gorgeous though, isn't it? Look at it. Look at that.
My garden.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, it looks very zen.
Yeah, you know
I'm
what?
afraid to show you my garden because I haven't cut the grass for about 4 months.
You don't cut the grass.
This house is kind of a bit like you'd think it was like an LA kind of house.
Yeah.
We rent this house currently. We own a property in London as well, but we just we're like we want more space.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why we're here.
It looks absolutely fabulous. So Francis, because obviously Carl knows you, I don't, and a lot of people who, like I said to you previously, may have tuned in to watch some lesser highbrow content that me and Carl have created. I'll be honest with you, Francis, we've struggled over the last 6 months because
content has not been a thing.
We haven't
it's
done
not been
anything.
Our friend, is it, Tom?
No, we sit down every week to do the podcast with different guests, and the first 20 minutes is me and Carl just going, what do we say to each other when we haven't done anything for a whole year? But for people who don't know, I'd like you to tell everybody that listens and watches the show what exactly you do for a job, because Carl tried to explain it to me before and he didn't do a very good job.
So a mixture of different things, and I relate to the whole content thing because I currently do YouTube.
That's right. Yeah.
And social media, and just coming up with new things when you're in lockdown and when you're in the same environment is really, really tricky. But having said that, I've also sneakily managed to be away for 2 of the lockdowns. So I'll talk to you a bit more of that and why that is. So my background is actually in musical theatre, and that's kind of how me and Carl knew each other. We went to stage school together back in Swansea. It was called Stagecoach. That's kind of where my love of singing, acting and dancing started.
Mainly the dancing for me, if I'm honest, Tom. Mainly the dancing. I was pretty good at the old
Carl was always smashing it. He was like always getting all these jobs. I was like, I always looked up to him.
Just a minute. You can't say you've always looked up to him.
No, I did, especially as a young boy. I was like, doing all the TV shows and everything. I was like, oh my God, this guy's so good.
I wish I could dance like Carl. I remember Francis saying to me once, I wish I could dance like Carl.
You're just don't encourage him. He don't need encouragement on any level. Carl.
But yeah. So then I kind of went to London when I was like 18, and I went to drama school, and I studied musical theatre, and then I proceeded to work in the West End for about 8 years, which was amazing. I did loads of really cool shows, things like Legally Blonde, the original cast of that, Singing in the Rain, Dirty Dancing, Elf the musical. Those are really cool shows, which it was always been my passion. So from a young age, I feel very fortunate to have kind of known what I wanted to do. And I had a great career, but during that career, I figured out sugar. When you're a performer, when you're an artist, you need something else, and you need to do something else. And obviously now has been the best time for that, because, we don't have any theatre industry, which is so sad. So I please, everyone that's listening to this, as soon as the theatre's open, go. And I know you guys obviously do music and stuff, so it's like we just need to go and support everyone. Essential. But yeah, then about 10 years ago, me and my partner, we started an online business, kind of before social media was where it is at today, and kind of before online where is at today. And it's all based in wellness, so it's kind of an online sales of health and wellness products, and it's been the biggest blessing of our life. It's completely transformed the choices that we have, and through that business, to be successful in business, I had to do a lot of personal development alongside that, because I came from no business background at all. And I noticed, as an actor, you think you're confident, but you're really confident with a script and, playing a part. Whereas in business, I had to play myself. I had to be willing to stand out. So I feel like I've had this massive personal transformation, and I've been really into mindset and things like that for a long time. And, and that's when Carl said, when you watch my Instagram, you feel positive, because it's just a philosophy that I've kind of learned, I know what makes me feel good, and I love sharing that with other people. So that's kind of my job right now. And yeah, is that enough?
It's interesting you say that about Instagram, because last week we had another performer on, a guy called Austin Farrell, and he's done lots of he's danced on a lot of TV shows, he's done a lot of commercials and stuff, and we talked about the negativity and the negative and the positive sides of Instagram, which is it's a fantastic tool if you're a performer to potentially have an audience of millions, but at the same time it can be quite disheartening to go on there and judge yourself against somebody else. It can be detrimental to your mental health, and I think there's very, very few people. I know we all decide who we follow. I know that's what we do, but there's very few people that I follow, I think, that are spreading sort of positive vibes. Certainly in the last 12 months, because it's been very easy to moan. I think it has. So.
Oh yeah, even myself, I found myself falling into that pattern of kind of moaning, detrimental behavior, which is just not me. And I actually, both me and Stuart, my partner, at the beginning of this year said, we're like, that's enough. A line in the sand, whatever you call it, 2021, we are not going to moan about the situation. And, and whenever there's that kind of fear-based energy that kind of props up online, I'm really not interested anymore, because I'm like, that's so kind of 2020. But it's interesting what you said also about kind of caring what people think, because as an actor, I felt like I cared so much what people thought about me, and it was constant trying to please other people. And I believe that also really held me back in business when I had to put myself out there, because I was constantly afraid of being rejected or what might people think. But what through personal transformation, what I've learned is just be yourself, and you're not going to please everyone. And that's, it's much better to also, you said about kind of looking at stuff online and kind of, I'm sure people can be mean and things like that. But if you have true self-acceptance in yourself, then those things don't affect you, because that's their opinions, and people are always going to have their opinions, but it's really all comes down to kind of greater self-love.
I'm with you on that, but that's a very, very difficult thing to find, I think, especially if you work within the entertainment industry, because you naturally care so much about it.
It's the want all the time for acceptance and validation. Always. And it's a crazy thing, really, because if you take your job out of it, I'm not like that in real life. I don't need someone to tell me, oh, you're great, you do, and yet it feels like in this job, when you put something out, because you've worked and you've put all your energy and all your passion into it, you've put it out there. And if dude, I can have 90 comments going, it's great, and then one that goes, not digging this one, didn't like this route that they went down, and it hurts.
That's the one that
so
sticks.
Much.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy.
It's crazy. But I do watch Francis's story, Tom, and every time I watch it, genuinely no bullshit whatsoever, I feel better about myself.
I don't follow Francis. As soon as the show finishes,
we should.
I am going to follow Francis, but it's one thing, and I'm going to put you on the spot here because
Sure, go for it.
I'm in charge, and
He is.
I'm not in charge of anything. But it's very, very easy, I think, to say. You hear it a lot. The terminology, be yourself. You hear, just put if it's content related, put it out there. If you believe in it, if it's what you want to do, just stick it out there, and the right people will find it. But I don't think it's as easy just saying be yourself as it is to then go, okay, do you know what? I'm just, I'm not going to be negative this year. I think in theory you can say that, but I think in practice we're wired completely differently. I know I can get up in the morning one day and be on top of the world, and I've got supernova emotions that mean the next day I can be really, really depressed. And on the day I'm depressed, if the advice I'm giving myself is, oh, just be yourself, stay positive. That's never going to fly. I know immediately that I'll fail on that day. So
you've raised so many thoughts in my head. So I'm going to start at one thought, which is I personally actually even had therapy this last year because I really wanted to explore myself even further. And people would see me and think, oh yeah, you're so positive. But also I think I had that kind of thing inside me where it's like, I need to be positive all the time. And what I've actually learned, and I think this is a generation thing. I think we're all millennials on here, right? I think we have quite an ideal of what we think our life should look like and what feels good and what feels bad. And actually it's okay. And if some days you don't feel like it, it's okay not to be okay. It's okay to sit in the sadness and the fear or the anger, whatever. Whereas what I previously maybe would have done is try to distract myself, and which is kind of looking back.
That's where I sit in the world.
Yeah, I've done it for years. I think I'm a gay man, and I've realized looking back into my past as a gay man, you're constantly concealing the way you feel because you learn from a very young age. Oh, who do you fancy when you're a teenager? You're like, oh gosh, right. And you just conceal. So I've really learned about myself is be okay sitting in sadness. You're not going to feel like sometimes hour to hour in the day as well, especially as a creative. Like we love to feel on form, but sometimes you don't feel like it. And trying to make a video, a song, whatever from that place might actually be great for writing a song. I don't know, but or sometimes sometimes you just need to take a nap and not be so hard on yourself. So that's definitely what I've learned about myself. But I do think there are things that you can practice daily. There's a number of things that have made the biggest difference to me. The first thing is I think every person should have some sort of morning practice where they wake up and they don't look at their phone straight away. Because when you look at your phone straight away, you instantly are connecting with every area of your life other than yourself. You're going bank account, Instagram, comparison. It's like straight away. So if you just spend the first 20 minutes of your day and you go, what am I grateful for today? And then kind of maybe learn some affirmations. If you've never heard an affirmation, guys, it's like, you might feel a bit weird doing it at first, but basically it's just like affirming what you want, affirming what you are. So you could say, I am focused, I am loved, I am something like that in the present tense that makes you feel empowered. Doing that affirmation, maybe a bit meditation. Some people like it, some people don't, but I think just a bit of stillness is good. And definitely move your body every single day. I think if you can start your day like that, it is a really good way of making your day so much better. I'm gonna counter that just a little bit because a lot of what you said there, I made a real conscious effort when we went into the first lockdown to do, and I said similar to what you said that you'd said to your partner, and that was I'm gonna make this a positive experience. I'm gonna have all this time to do the creative stuff that for years and years and years I've said I don't have time. Now I've got time. And I embarked on quite a heavy fitness schedule, and I did integrate meditation into the mornings. And I think after 12 months, I said it to Austin, the guest last week. And I did say it to Carl before we filmed yesterday because we were both a little bit down yesterday. And I said,
feeling drained, weren't we?
What happens is you can create a positive routine, but then that routine just becomes a little bit overwhelming because you feel like you've got to do it every day or that day's been a failure. And I think what you said, which was quite interesting, which I know Carl, as I know him well, and I know myself should definitely take on board, is it's okay to have a day where you don't want to do that. You know what I mean? Like I will beat myself up if I don't work out, or if I don't meditate, or if I don't look after myself. But then in doing that on the days where I don't want to, I think sometimes that can potentially do a little bit more damage.
I don't do definitely don't do it every day for that reason. I think it's also, again, this perfection we're striving for, this perfect thing. And I think there is no perfection. It's kind of finding out the point where it's, because there's sometimes where I don't do it and I'm just being lazy. So it's about, and I know when I do it, I feel good. So it's knowing and understanding myself well enough to be like, no, actually, Francis, just do it today. And then some days being okay not doing it. So life is never like, it's not a straight line. It's like a moment to moment experience, and you can't put one philosophy or way of thinking on the same moment, because what you're doing then is actually living to an ideal. So you've got this ideal way of that you think your life should be, and then you're putting that ideal on every moment. And like I said before, like some moments you're going to feel sad and you need to sit in your sadness. And then some moments you feel sad, but actually the right thing to do is to distract yourself and go work out and be with friends or whatever. So it's kind of this, like, there's no one thing. It's just, you've got to move.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. And I think the difficulty in finding that, certainly as a performer or as a creative, is that strive for perfection that you talked about. Somebody said to me once, you'll be looking, you can strive so hard for perfection, you'll never actually find it, because it's unattainable. You know what I mean? Because as soon as you've got that, the goalposts change and you want the next thing or the next better thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the problem with that as a creative, or certainly that I have, is I struggle very much to exist in the moment, because I'm working on so many things that by the time they're finished, I'm already on to the next thing, and I'm not enjoying. You know what I mean? If I'm working on a song or a show or an acting job or whatever it is, you work so hard to get it that when you've got it, you don't really enjoy it, because you're like, now it's the next thing, and I've got to work on that and that, and I think that's a problem as well. And you, Carl, you've got to relate to that a little bit. You probably work so hard on an album that when it's done, you don't want to listen to it anymore. It's out there. You know what I mean? And then if you get one negative comment, I think it's very, very difficult to. The affirmation is good. I do a lot of online rides on my Peloton bike, and the
I love Peloton.
Are phenomenal.
Yeah,
like, just go, if you do something, they're like, clap it up. And I remember the first time I was on the bike, I'm in the house on my own, and they went, no, you've just clap it up, affirm it. And I sort of did it on my own in the house and felt really weird giving myself a round of applause. But psychologically, because I'd affirmed what I'd just done, I don't know, it had some sort of positive effect. So I kind of understand what you're saying on a very, very small scale. Yeah.
I am sorry, Carl, did you want to say something?
No, just something that I took from you. And I started doing November time. November, October time, is writing down what I wanted out of things.
Yeah.
So, because I find when you put the pen to the paper, it stops all the blurriness of it just becomes real. It becomes a thing.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I really took from like your Insta stories is if you write it down, it's there, it's in front of you, and you start reading it and it starts sinking in. That's what I want. That's what I want to achieve.
Yeah.
I do find it difficult to I think my biggest problem in life is not needing the pat on the back from the right people. So like I always want it from the individuals that probably I'm never going to get the pat on the back from. And I know it's mental.
Yeah.
And I already know that saying it, I'm making a fool of myself by saying it, because I know it's wrong. I shouldn't want that. But it's finding a way to not want that and to be grateful for the people that do give you the pat on the back. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. I know that. And I think a lot of people, they look to their parents, don't they? And sometimes parents don't give them that kind of that.
Weirdly, I have loads of love from my parents. I find it peers that I struggle. Like there's, other songwriters, other artists or something. And what I've started to find is that I'm never going to get it off them because they're searching for something different or they're not. Like we talked last week to Austin, and I said, I really like liking people's pictures. I really like saying, you're fucking great.
Yeah.
I like doing that because I think I want that. So I think when someone reads it, they go, oh, wow. And they feel good about themselves. So it makes me feel good. If you can cheer someone up or make someone kind of confirm to someone that they're doing a good thing because you think it's great, I think that's an amazing thing to do.
Yeah.
But I kind of have taken a lot just genuinely from watching Francis's story.
It's great. You know, like the whole seeking approval is it's just quite an interesting thing. I remember as an actor, when I wasn't working in a show, I remember feeling very, like I didn't have any purpose or I didn't have any value. And I came to this conclusion, and you guys will relate to this, that my value is not determined by what I'm doing. My value. And I know we need, yes, we need the sales, we need the likes, we need the views. And, you can't help but look for value in that. But again, it is working on this personal value of yourself first. And if you're strong in that, I think you can probably face anything.
I think also as well, it's what you just said there, Carl, about when you vocalize what you just said there and you go, it's ridiculous. And when I'm saying it, I feel a bit silly. Mm-hmm. But fundamentally, as somebody who's educated, I don't understand what the part of my brain that means I need to have the applause of a few thousand strangers in order to. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me at all. But that's something that's there, and I think I accept that a lot better by just trivializing it. It's just one of those things that is. It's kind of funny to me that's what I need. It used to be. I needed it, whereas now I like it and it's quite funny, and I can't work out exactly why I need to have that room of people all look at me and go, "You're really good," for me to go, "Yeah, I know," and then I can carry on with my day. Yeah. And there's nothing better to remind yourself that you don't actually need that to function than 12 months of not having it, because that's the longest period of my life where I haven't had that. That sort of affirmation or validation or anything else like that. It's bloody lovely when it happens, round of applause, get the odd bra thrown on stage, phenomenal. But, and I can't wait to go back to it. But it's been quite good to sort of, I don't know, to try different things. Like me and Carl, I've said this a lot on the podcast, but we'd met once in February of last year. And we did a little online show together over the summer, and then we decided to do this podcast. And we would never ever have had the opportunity to do this. We'd have never had the time. We would have never been able to throw ourselves into it. And like, it might not look it sometimes, but we are really trying, really trying to make something that
he is really trying, Francis.
Stop it. I am. And those things are brilliant. They're brilliant byproducts of an absolutely awful time for anybody else. So, and it does make you reflect. I think it does make you think a little bit more. I wouldn't be having this conversation with you today if this hadn't happened, so
exactly.
I think finding the positives in certain things is quite easy to do, but I think it also depends on how you get out of bed in the morning. And what you said, which I think is a fabulous thing, and it's something I am trying so hard to do, is the phone thing. I keep saying it to Carl every episode. When we're done with lockdown, I want to go abroad. I'm not going to take my phone for a couple of weeks. I'm going to have a break from it, because the longer we're in lockdown, the longer we're not interacting with people face to face, the more screen time we've got. And I think that I can feel it negatively affects me. But it is the first thing I do in the morning. I get up in the morning, I wake up, and first thing I do is I get my phone, I'll check my emails. And then before that, I check the Instagram. And then I'll have a little look and see if anyone's liked the Facebook video that I put up. And then I might check my bank balance. I know what's in there. I haven't been at work for a year. I know exactly what's in there, but I'll check it. And then that'll make me feel bad because I haven't been at work for a year.
It's almost like the wrong routine.
It is the wrong routine.
It's a routine, but it's the wrong routine.
I do it before I go to bed. And then what will happen is I might get up and go, after I've done all that, all right, I feel like I want to work out or meditate or read or whatever it is. And I'm going into that with the wrong the wrong headspace, because I've set myself up bad.
Well, I mean, again, it's also not because there's some days I do grab my phone and look at it straight away, but it's not beating yourself up with that, because that's all we want to do, right? Is feel good. That's all what we want. Why do you want to be more successful? Why do you want this? Why do you want more money? So we want to feel good. That's really the most important thing. And I think if you kind of look into the law of attraction and things like that, it's about feeling good now. When you feel good now, then you can attract more of the good things in your life. So like you said, through this past year, see the good in situations. Yes, there's been some things that have made me so annoyed, so angry, the weirdest emotional year, but there's been some amazing things that as well that's happened, like you said, that may never have happened if this hadn't have happened. So I just say, like, when you wake up, you're like, when you sleep, you don't have any thoughts generally. So you're like, so when you wake up, you're kind of at your purest form. So you just want to be pouring into yourself the best things to start with. And I think, you know what, I think if all of us didn't look at our phones, we'd be helping ourselves out a lot. Yeah.
I'm gonna say it now. I'm gonna make a conscious effort before we film the next episode, Carl.
Yes.
I'm gonna make a conscious effort to
not text me for a week.
That's all I do. First thing in the morning, I'm texting Carl.
But yeah, just don't pick it up for a few days, but also don't beat yourself up if you do, because
I'm the king of beating myself up, and Carl is exactly the same. I'm absolutely awful for it. It doesn't matter if I've stuck in an 18-hour day. I can't.
I find I judge myself badly if I don't. I judge myself badly if I don't feel like I've done enough work.
Yes.
Isn't that?
Yeah, but your
crazy?
standard of
is already
is
like the last
insane.
12 months. I was going to ask you, Francis, if in the last 12 months you feel like we worked more and hard, probably attacked it harder than ever, because it's like, oh God, I don't want to be in this position. I need to secure a future. I need to get more songs. I need to get more acting jobs. I need to get whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I'm coming out of lockdown drained when I should be coming out excited to go to work.
Yeah.
But I've already done probably 2 years worth of work in a year.
Yeah.
To what I'd know maybe my normal standard would be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so my day consists of, I get up at 6. I'm in writing songs from 8. I finish at 5, have tea and spend the night with Claire. And then I go back to the studio at 10 in the night, work till 12, and then get up at 6. It's awful.
Wow, that's full on. That is actually
but no one tells me to do it. That's my own brain going, yeah, but if you don't work hard, you're not going to have a life. You're not going to have a career.
Yeah, but there's working hard, and then there's working hard.
I know, it's extreme.
I say it to you with
I can't shake it out of me. I know I should do it, but I need somehow to train myself into getting out of that.
Yeah.
It's not good.
I was going to say, Carl, you've had a routine that has worked for the purposes of the last 12 months, the same as mine has. But if that routine, like for example, for me, I started lockdown with, right, I'm going to get up, I'm going to ride 20 miles on the bike. When that's done, I'm going to have some breakfast and I'm going to, start work or whatever. Riding 20 miles on a bike every single day is ludicrous. Because I did it for 6 months, because I had the time to do it for 6 months. Now, when I wake up, if I don't do it,
you judge yourself.
I'm beating myself up. Well, you haven't ridden the bike today.
That's where I'm at, and I need to get out of it.
And I mean, that's an example I've used there that carries on into every other form of life, whether it's work.
I mean, I haven't driven 20 miles on a bike. I don't think I've ever driven 20 miles on a bike.
No, but it doesn't matter if it's work or if it's the bike or whatever. If I've had a 3 or 6 month period where I've absolutely smashed the workout, it doesn't matter if I do a normal 8-hour day then, because it doesn't feel like I've done enough. And I don't know how to wire that out of my head either.
Francis, how do you keep in such good shape?
I work out
I'm not
every
being
day.
funny, Tom. You think you're in good nick.
I work out every day. It's
this
a habit,
guy,
and I just love it so much that, it's like brushing my teeth. I do it and
that's exactly like you in it, Tom. You do it because you love it.
I love it so much. What I was going to say, what you were talking about. So in February, we haven't talked about this yet, but me and my partner are actually on the surrogacy journey to having a baby, which is really exciting. And we took our surrogates to the US at the beginning of this year to do the embryo transfer, but it meant having to spend 2 weeks, poor us, in Mexico prior going to the
You're not getting any sympathy from me.
So my point being is, when you get I understand this year has made us all think so much about ourselves and all these things. But when you get yourself on a beach or you get yourself in a different environment, it will have a big impact on you, because you'll probably forget a lot of the things that you're worried, or, I feel like it's great we've done all this self, exploration, but I think also we're just in a place where we're stuck at home and we're overthinking things, and we just need to be around people and on a beach and doing normal things. And I just think, don't beat yourself up. And when you can get yourself away, go, because it will make the biggest difference to how you feel.
Carl, do you want to come to Mexico with me?
Go for it.
No,
You probably should still go,
You and me, a couple of pairs of budgie smugglers, pina coladas. It'd be great. Come on, mate.
It was the you and me that put me off.
Okay.
Nothing else. I was all in until you went, you and me. I was like,
that'd be great. That would. You and me in Mexico.
It would be great, but it's not going to happen, is it?
No, not really.
I'm stuck in Swansea. It's not going to happen.
You know what? You probably still could. You could do it. You just got quarantined when you get back.
What was it like? What was the whole flying experience and the plane?
You know what?
It's
another thing that I've learned about this time, and obviously, we did it all within the rules because we were there for a medical reason, things like that. But what I feel like we've come to this place where we look at the media, right, and we look at all these things, and everything is at number 10. And actually, when I went to the airport to fly to Mexico, I had all this documentation about why I was going. Nobody asked me anything. Nothing. Really? I just got on a plane.
On a scale of normal holiday, like flying and stuff, and COVID flying, where does it?
100% normal. The only thing is you got to wear a mask the whole time. And
I don't know, because I would have thought that it was going to be stopped everywhere.
Yeah. And, of course, when we came back, we had to show that we had tests. And of course, and I think moving forward, this is what it's going to be like. But I think what we do is in our heads, we have this I can't say the word, apocalypse kind of version of the world. And then there's reality. And yeah, that's why I'm just excited for everyone to go out and out again, because everyone's going to be like, oh, wow, it's actually...
As much as everyone's been living at home, everyone's been living in their head as well.
Yes.
And that's kind of... I wouldn't want to live in my head, and
I'm only with him for like a couple of hours a day. It's a dangerous place. Francis, I'll ask you this because I think we've asked every single guest that we've had on in the last however many months it's been.
Yeah.
What's the first thing that you will do when lockdown's lifted? I've said from day one, and people will be fed up of it, but I want to go to Mexico and sit on the beach. That's what I've said.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it. You know what, actually, because I work with a lot of, in my job, I work with a lot of people online. I'm going to throw the biggest summer party at my house, and it's going to be wild. You can come.
Can I have a gig? Book me.
We want everything.
You said it, you said you can't take it back.
I want drag queens. I want people on stilts. I want everything. And I want to get a paramedic just because I know people won't be able to control themselves.
Amazing.
Phenomenal. Well, don't tell anybody where you live. I'll take that out at the beginning of the episode because they'll be desperate to join in. Listen, Francis, I'm going to stick with this because this will go up on YouTube and obviously where everybody gets their podcast. We'll make sure that your socials are linked in so that people can have a look. And I ain't just saying this. I am going to follow you because I think everybody needs a little bit of positivity. It's certainly when it's involved in Instagram. And I am definitely going to get out of the habit of picking up the phone first thing in the morning. Thank you so much for coming on the show and having a chat.
Also, you've got a YouTube channel. Go plug it, Francis. Plug it.
Stuart and Francis on YouTube. We started in January. It's all about our journey to creating this family that we're starting. Baby due, fingers crossed, in the beginning of November. So yeah, it's really exciting for people to follow that.
Congratulations. They will definitely check it out. And thank you again for joining us on the show and being so bloody positive.
So annoying.
No, it's brilliant.
What a lovely guy. I feel like we've said that. I feel like we've said that after the last 2 weeks. What a lovely guy.
It's good though. Like I think that's a good thing. It's I like people that are positive about not just, are positive that about other people wanting to be positive. If you can't say positive, pick up a positive person.
It is interesting though. And I have gone on about it since he said it, but that whole first thing in the morning phone thing.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think at one point last year, I used to sleep with it charging in a different room.
Really?
Just so, because I thought if I turn off the notifications, it'll be all right. It won't bother me. But the whole PS5 thing, which is totally.
I didn't want to mention it to him.
Yeah, you imagine me going, yeah, do you know what, Francis? I am
Yeah.
thoroughly upset I couldn't get a PS5. That's why I have my phone. But I think because of that, the phone's just got a bit closer. But it is something. I do it before I go to bed as well. Get into bed and I'll have a little scroll before I go to sleep.
I do it, dude. I do the same. But you're right. It's something that.
Because it's the
all
last thing
about
you
working,
see before you go to sleep. It's the first thing you see when you wake up. So I'm going to change that to something positive.
Good for you, man.
I might get myself a.
Maybe you can be a bit fucking nicer to me in WhatsApp.
I think I'm ever not nice to you. Ever not nice to you. But I think he's got some interesting opinions on stuff. And yeah, I think it's always good to have a different perspective because both you and I, as different as we are, we do look at a lot of things in the same way. We're quite hard on ourselves. I think you were just before we started. You were like, you idiot. I was like, be nice to little Carl. Carl, be nice to Carl.
Yeah, but people at home, I was talking to myself.
Yeah,
I wasn't calling you an idiot.
He wasn't calling me Carl either because it's not my name.
Well,
I feel
like to be.
I feel like we've just broke the matrix. Yeah. Feel like it. I also feel like at the end of that, when he said he was going to have a big party and he was going to have paramedics and drag queens.
He wasn't straight in like inviting us, though, was he?
No, I was going to say, because I sort of went, I put my mic down as if to go, well, we're going to get an invite here.
See you there then?
Didn't get one. Didn't come.
Maybe he just needs to get to know you a bit better. I was like, I can do the gig. And he was like, yeah, got to get some drag queens. Going to get, I was like, I want to have the gig in front.
Did also feel when we came on and I was like, look, we're doing quite a serious couple of weeks of podcasting at the moment.
Yeah.
And I was like, Francis, and normally I'm drawing willies on things. I was like, I don't know if I should tell him that, but I have a fear that we get these great guests on and then Francis just types it in Awkward Turkey on YouTube and sees me, you and Adam Westcott.
Mate, the only thing that was missing was Adam Westcott popping up going, let's quiz.
Imagine both Austin and Francis having to do an impromptu office quiz.
Imagine them having to get guest spot on West Enders. All of that hard work in that interview that we just did with them, talking about positivity, and he calls them Little Mo or something like that.
See if she
Let's quiz.
He will be back, obviously, folks, Mr. Westcott. But it's important this month, I think, like you just said there, to spread a little bit of positivity and talk about some different stuff. So, Carl, it's been a brilliant week. I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Shall we do it again next Sunday?
We shall.
What time?
Contractually, we have to.
Ooh. Oh, I tell you what.
Oh, look at his little 12-month contract that he signed me into.
What will be really interesting is come whatever it is, October the 1st, 2021. I go, Carl.
When it goes down to 2 a month.
And you go, are we going to carry on?
Yeah, when the patrons have to resubscribe.
Yeah, I don't know. But this is why I keep saying the Willies will come back. The drawing of the Willies and Adam.
That's all they want, dude. That's all they want.
I don't think they do.
And they were like, "There's not enough Willies in this show."
They do. I don't think they want it at all. I think they much prefer it when we do serious stuff. But it's nice. So. It's nice to have a little peppering every now and then. Just a peppering of Willies.
So she said, or he.
I'm going to stop saying Willies. I've said Willies more in this episode than I've said anything else.
Well, it's good night from Keegan.
And it's good night from Dr. Beer. I don't know why I keep doing. Seriously, thank you so much for joining us every single Sunday. If you do,
we appreciate you.
If you have a week off, it's okay.
F you. Well, no, not where we were going. No?
I wasn't going to go. Very coarse.
Okay. Yeah.
Very coarse.
If you have a week off, that's all right.
It's okay.
Your loss.
We'll still be there.
Fool. Still not on the same page. Positivity.
I'm trying to stay positive and I'm trying to not live in the moment, but I did have a minute in my head there where I went, oh God, what are we going to do in May? But I'm not going to do that because we're still in April. And we've got a great month coming up, or final show of April coming up. And yeah, it's been a pleasure. The last two have been really, really enjoyable.
Yeah, man.
Not that they're not
fun.
enjoyable with Adam Westcott and Little Paul. They're great.
No,
but it's been a nice change of scenery.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
Good job.
Shall
Well
we,
done, you, Tom. Well done, you.
No, well done to you too.
Well done
to you
no,
too.
no. Well done to you.
No, I insist.
No, take the fucking compliment. Well done, Tom.
Well done, Carl.
Oh, this is not nice, is it? Let's finish it there. Drop the mic.
All right, dickhead.